In Memphis, I've been fortunate to work with an interfaith, multiracial, multi-ethnic group of people who try to help low-wage workers who've been treated unfairly in the workplace. The group is called the Workers Interfaith Network. And most of the workers we help simply haven't been paid for their work as dishwashers or caretakers or construction workers or in lawn care. They show up and do the work, but on payday, they simply receive no money. This happens much more often than most people know. And they often lack access to or confidence in the legal system to get what they're owed, and so sometimes this interfaith group helps. Now, we're talking about $100 here or $200 there, generally not huge sums of money, but enough to mean an apartment or eviction for the workers, and their families. Sometimes the money owed is all that there is for food or formula, for hygiene and health care, and sometimes the situations are quite dire. And aside from the satisfaction of helping people be treated fairly, the joy in the work is in being part of a very diverse group that sees everyone as neighbors, and being part of something larger than me that serves a unity more profound and interconnected than I had ever known before. The joy comes from learning with and listening to and working with others who are building the America of equality and fairness and freedom every day by making sure that those who are struggling to survive are at least treated fairly by those with resources. The joy comes from working with people who are not swayed by the pessimism of the pundits or the opportunism of the politicians, but who instead see someone hurt and stop to help, regardless of who they are. The joy comes from this group welcoming me, and by extension our faith, to this table of justice making. For our faith of freedom and equality, of unity and diversity, is beyond well-suited to engage in the work of realizing Langston Hughes's America. We've been active creators of those ideals since the founding of our nation, and we've been in the forefront of realizing those ideals in many social justice movements in our nation's history. And so too shall we move into the future, continuing to expand equality so that more and more people live in its light, and rooting freedom not just in the concepts of our nation, but in the lives of all the people. We will reach out and know more and more neighbors, seeing the beauty therein and knowing that the holy lives within, among, and beyond us all. And as we celebrate America this day, as the beginning of a beautiful dream of radical equality and endless justice, so too do we pledge to continually awaken to the America that was meant to be. Because that America is, as it always has been, in our hands to shape as we will. The civil rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer used to tell a story that I'll close with. She spent her life seeing the America that is before her and knowing the America that could be in her heart, and she worked to empower others to create that America through the civil rights work. She would often tell this story. I would like to tell you of an old man. This old man was very wise, and he could answer questions that were almost impossible for people to answer. So some young people went to him one day and said, "We're going to trick this old man today. We're going to catch a bird, and we're going to carry it to this old man, and we'll cover it in our hands, and we'll say, 'This that we hold in our hands today, is it alive or is it dead?' And if he says dead, we're going to turn it loose and let it fly away. And if he says alive, we're going to crush it." So they walked up to the old man with the bird, and they held it in their hands, and they said, "This that we hold in our hands today, is it alive or is it dead?" And the old man looked at the young people, and he smiled, and he said, "It's in your hands." And so too is the country in our hands, this day and every day. May we shape it with justice and equality, with hope and belief. May we shape it with love for our neighbors far and wide every day of our lives. May it be so, and amen.